For those of you who have had little to no experience with working with Audacity, this tutorial will show you how to download Audacity, how to install it, and then how to utilize it in completing your introduction for week 1. The screen that you're seeing on your display right now is the discussion thread for our course. What you're looking at is the week 1 introduction and the week 1 computers and technology. If you click on the Audacity download, the next page that comes up is the screen that gives you the options of 2 different types of Audacity downloads. The majority of you should be using Windows 7, but if you are using any other version of the operating system from 98 to Windows 7, you would select the one that is appropriate to the specific operating system you have. In my case, it's Windows 7, so I'm going to click on Download Audacity 1.3.14, the beta version. When I click on that, the next screen that is displayed is the Windows information on the beta version. Right below the beta version, it shows recommended download. It says Audacity 1.3.14 installer. I'm going to click on that. The option at the bottom of the page asks me if I want to run or save Audacity. I'm simply going to go ahead and run the application. Now, depending upon your internet service provider, the speed of your downloads that you have available through your internet service provider, it could take a couple minutes, or it could be less than a minute, depending upon, again, the speed of your internet service provider. And you can see the progress. Currently mine's at 24%, and it will continue to move at the speed based on my download speed, and I have CenturyLink, and it's not particularly fast, but it's not real slow either. So once it completes its downloading, then you will be given an option to go ahead and actually install the application. Okay, the download has been completed, and this next screen that has come up is the actual installing of this application. Click Next and continue to click Next. This screen is actually asking you if you want to change where the file is going to be downloaded to. I recommend that you accept that the default file folder that it's going to go into. Just continue to click Next. Now, I have the file already on my computer, so it's going to override the one I have on there. So it's asking me if I want to install the folder anyway. I'm going to say yes. It asks me if I want to create a desktop icon, which I do, and then I'm going to install the actual application. Now, as it installs the application, it's extracting all the files that are necessary for you to be able to run this particular application. This process goes rather quickly, and unless you have some sort of a surge of power or your internet goes out, it should go through without any incident. So now the next screen that comes up is some more information. You're perfectly free to read it. Most people don't. Now, normally I would tell you, yes, go ahead and leave this check mark on the box, Launch Audacity. But in this case, I don't want you to check that as of yet, because we have another file that we must install in order for you to be able to convert your recorded file into an MP3 file that would be uploadable to the Blackboard. So we'll click on Finish, and then the screen that we're on discusses optional uploads. Now, if you look at that, the options there, you'll see that one of the options we have is called the lame MP3 encoder. This is the file we must have in order to convert our recording to MP3 files, which will be uploadable to the discussion thread or any other, if you wanted to do this to a website or a wiki or whatever, you need the encoder to be able to convert those files. So we click on that, and then the next screen that comes up is again the discussion of what the MP3 software does, and it asks you to follow the instructions. So we need to click on the lame download page. Now this page was where it gets a little bit confusing, so what you want to make sure you do is, based on the instructions that were on the previous page, it said for Audacity on Windows that we were to select this file, the lame version 3.98.3 for Audacity on Windows.exe. So we click on this link, and then again it comes up with the same information about do we want to run or save lame. We want to run it, we don't need to save it. So this should go through rather quickly, and then once we complete the process of uploading the lame file, we'll go ahead and then launch Audacity. So as you can see, it's moving rather quickly. I am at about 82%, 84%, and we should be able to complete the process. According to my screen, I've got about 1 second remaining, which is good. Because I have an internet security program on mine, it runs a security scan. You may not have that. Then this will be the setup. So it tells you to set up, so you click next. Again, here are the terms of the use, and you have no options about accepting the agreement. If you don't accept the agreement, it's not going to let you download it, so you have to accept the agreement. So you click next, and then install. Once you have completed the installation, you're going to click finish. So at this point, what we're going to be looking at is the home screen, and we're going to go to Audacity, the icon on my desktop. So I'm going to click on that, and then it comes up with how to get help. It gives you a quick help, it gives you the manual, there's a wiki form that you can look at, and then another form where you can ask questions directly on the internet. So you can choose to not have this shown again, or you can have it shown every time. I choose not to have that show every time because I do know how to use it. So now what you're seeing on the screen are some buttons across the top, and then some hash marks for time. Now this obviously is pause, this is play, this is stop, that's rewind or skip to start, and that's going to be skip to the end. This button is where you're going to hit record. So what I would recommend you do first is to kind of write down what you want to include in your introduction. That way you don't have to think about what you're going to say, and you've got a script in front of you, which sometimes makes it a little easier to do a recorded introduction. So what I'll do is just kind of do a brief introduction. It's not going to be a complete one, but it'll give you an idea of what it looks like. So I'm going to say, good afternoon, my name is Dr. Massey, and I'm the instructor for the Educational Media and Technology. Now, I obviously would go into more information about myself and include some other in-depth comments about course expectations, but for the sake of just showing you how to do this, I wanted it to be short and sweet. So I can listen to it. Now if I click the play button, good afternoon, my name is Dr. Massey, and I'm the instructor for the Educational Media and Technology. So as you can see, maybe I don't want this first part of the of my recording because it's got some information that doesn't need to be on there. So I can actually, if I desire, I could go ahead and actually trim it if I wanted to. Now, what you're not able to see here is the buttons up top. So this, when I click on the file, which that is, I can click on new, open, or recent, or I can click on then export, which is what I want to do, because I want to be able to I'm not making any changes to mine. I'm not going to do any sort of editing on it. I'm going to accept the short little snippet I have. Now it comes up with the name, file name, and then it also shows you that it is a file type of an MP3 file, which means that we successfully downloaded not only Audacity, but the lame MP3 encoder that was necessary to convert the file. So I'm going to name this Dr. Massey Introduction. So I click on Save, and it says you're about to save an MP3 file with the name Dr. Massey Intro. It says normally these files end in MP3, and some programs will not open files with non-standard extensions. Are you sure you want to save the file under this name? You say yes. Now this is where you could edit the information, but I wouldn't edit that at this point. You want to just go ahead and accept what is on there. So you click OK. Now the file is now totally off of the screen. So we can close Audacity at this point or leave it open if we want to make sure that it is there. So when I go back into my Start menu, I'm going to go to my Documents and find my file. Now what I'm looking at is Audacity has its own folder, or it should have its own folder. It may not have it, and you may actually have to look under Downloads, depending upon where your information is housed. So we can go back into our file folders. We can also search for this by our title. Okay, so it shows me that my intro is under my C drive, under Users, under Dr. Margie Massey, under my documents. So I can click on that. It says it can't open it. It's okay. I don't want it to open it per se. And that's exactly what it is. So that's not what you wanted to do. You want to actually just locate the file. Okay, so when I double-clicked on the file, obviously it's trying to find the file extension, and we don't want to do that. So again, you want to locate your file. Well, we know that mine is under my C drive, so I would go to my computer, I would go to my C drive, it was under my Users and under my name. There's my intro. It's in the proper format. It's under MP3 format sound. So then what I would do is I would go back into Blackboard and I would click on Responses. Now Blackboard timed me out, so I have to re-log in, and that might happen to you depending upon how long you have your screen open. So if that happens, just click Login and then go back in. So you click on the Ed 280, click on Discussion Board, click on Introductions, and then click on Create a Thread. On the subject line, put your name in. I'm going to put Dr. Massey Introduction. Now you can include any other information you want to put in here. Like I would suggest putting your email address in, especially if it's not the same as the university, if you're using a personal email address. Put that in there, and then I need to browse for my computer where my particular file is. Again, we've established where mine is, and again, yours probably is going to be very similar unless you have it directed to another location. So then I look down into my files, I find it, and then I go ahead and click on Submit. Once I have confirmed that the file is there, again it says Dr. Massey intro.mp3, so I click on Submit. Now, depending upon, again, your internet connection, it may tell you that it's timing out. You'll experience this with using Internet Explorer. I usually advocate that students use Mozilla Firefox with Blackboard just because it seems to be more responsive. If you get this type of a comment, just click OK and wait for it to upload. It's usually due to the fact that it's trying to upload a file and the file is a little larger than what the internet connection will allow. So now this is another screen that you'll see with Internet Explorer. So if you just kind of click over here, it shows you that I have my introduction. And if you click on that, then you can go in there and then you can listen to it. Now it would more than likely bring up the Windows Media Player. Welcome to Edge. Unless you have Real Player defaulted as your media player. Most people use Windows Media Player, so it should come up on the screen. You'll allow it to play, and then when it's done, you'll be able to go ahead and close it out. If you follow these instructions, you shouldn't have any problems with not only downloading the Audacity file, but downloading the lame MP3 encoder that is necessary to convert the file, and then uploading it to Blackboard. If you have any questions, my cell phone number is attached to the syllabi for the course, and you can either text me, call me, or stop by my office if you have any questions with this assignment or any other assignment. I look forward to talking to each and every one of you, and welcome to Ed 280.